Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new video here on FPL Now. Today we're going to be going over my updated transfer plans for Game Week 12. So if you're excited for the video, drop a like down below, leave a comment, what are your transfer plans going to be for the next game week, subscribe if you're brand new, and let's get into the video. So starting things off, let's quickly take a look at what my team looks like going into Game Week 12 with 0 transfers. It looks quite bad. A lot of flags, unfortunately, and this is what can happen during the international break. Some big players as well that have been flagged in regards to GABRIEL and Semenyo. I already had Kudus and Paquetá flagged before going into the international break, so it's only gotten worse, really. It could be a lot worse, though. I've seen a lot of people's teams where, you know, I've got even more flags and stuff, so I'm not in a terrible position. And I do have 2 free transfers as well, and this is why I always like to have at least 2 going into the international break, because things like this can happen. And I've got 4 players that are pretty much guaranteed to be out of Game Week 12 and only 2 free transfers to fix it. So we'll talk about that in a second, talking about GABRIEL and Semenyo replacements. But either way, I've got Raya, who's got Spurs at home. We've got Lacroix, who's got Wolves away. We've got Senesi, who's got West Ham at home. We've got GABRIEL, who is currently injured. Spurs at home for him. And then we've got Virgil van Dijk, who's got Forest at home. I feel like a lot of transfers this week are just going to be GABRIEL to Virgil van Dijk. So the Van Dijk stocks are going to be through the roof. But unfortunately, GABRIEL is a huge asset to be losing. But I guess a lot of people own him now, so we just kind of need information on that press conference. If Arteta says he's out for like 2 weeks, then he's probably a hold. If he's out for like a month to 6 weeks or whatever, it's probably worth just getting rid of him. Especially with all the deadlines we've got coming up. We've got like 10 deadlines in like 40-something days. So you're going to be losing a lot of game weeks with GABRIEL in that back line. And as well as that, a lot of people are thinking of just getting rid of him to a different Arsenal defender. But I don't know, because like Timber's also potentially injured. Calafiori's also potentially injured. The back line at Arsenal is going to be very bad if GABRIEL's out. They could potentially only have 1 starting player in Saliba. So I don't know if I would do a sideways transfer from GABRIEL to a different Arsenal defender, because I just don't think, if all of those players are out, obviously, it's not going to be worth it. If it's just GABRIEL out, then fair enough. But for me, I don't know. It's not really a move that I like the idea of too much. But yeah, either way, we've got to wait for the press conference from Arteta, because he's got a lot of players that are potentially out. And then, yeah, Virgil van Dijk, who's got Forest at home. Midfield also doesn't look great. Paquetá picking up the 5th yellow means he's banned from playing away at Bournemouth. I've got Saka, who's got Spurs at home. And then I've got Semenyo, who's also injured, who also could be out for multiple weeks. Something like he already like kind of, he already had an injury, and then like he kind of worsened it, that like they played him anyway even though he was injured, and then he kind of just aggravated it and made it worse, and that's just what happened, and now he's out. Not ideal at all. I mean, a lot of people were kind of getting rid of Semenyo anyway, because obviously he missed the pen, so maybe Kluivert's back on pens, but now he's also potentially injured. It's just all going off, really. The up front's fine. You know, I've got Haaland, Welbeck, and Mateta all fine, ready to play. Newcastle away for Haaland, Brentford at home for Welbeck, and then Wolves away for Mateta. The bench currently sits with Dubravka, who's got Chelsea at home, Dewsbury Hall, who's got Man United away, who I might have to call on this week, Kudus, who's got Arsenal away, and then Rodon, who's got Villa at home, who is another player that I might also have to call on this week if things do get worse. So that's what the team currently looks like. So not great on paper at all. Like I say, I've got 2 free transfers to kind of sort this out with, and let's take a look at that, because we need to take a look at the GABRIEL transfer and the Semenyo transfers as well. So this is the situation that I have in regards to transfers. So as you can see, I've got 2 frees and I've got 1.1 mil in the bank as well. So originally I was going to get rid of Kudus and Paquetá and then just kind of like bring in a couple of players for that. Not really too sure that's going to be the situation now. Obviously, you don't make any transfers until the press conferences. They'll be Thursday and Friday this week, and Arteta will sit down, he'll tell us the kind of situation with GABRIEL. If he says anything like he might be all right, then that means that he's close to being back, so I'll just keep him. But if he comes out and says that, you know, he's going to be out for like 4 to 6 weeks, and there has been rumors online that he is going to be out for quite a considerable amount of time, he is a player that I'm probably going to be getting rid of. And if I do get rid of GABRIEL, then of course I'm going to upgrade either Kudus or Paquetá to a better midfielder. So let's just say GABRIEL is out. I don't know if, like I say, I don't know if I'd swap to another Arsenal defender. I think I would just bring Gabriel back in when he's back. And if he is back around the time that players go to AFCON, so you get the 5 frees, then obviously that just kind of works itself out. There's a lot of players that are flagged at the moment, though, and I really don't like... it's slim pickings at the moment. Like, I'd bring in Munoz, but I've already got Lacroix, so there's no reason to do that. I'd bring in Van de Ven, but obviously the Spurs fixtures aren't great. There's really not a lot of players that I like the look of, apart from potentially maybe Matty Cash. I do quite like the Villa fixtures coming up. They've got Leeds away this week, and then they've got Wolves at home next week, and then they've got Brighton away. So some pretty nice fixtures for Cash. But to be fair, if I was going to bring in a Villa defender, it might even be Konza, who's obviously gone down in price. He's 4.4 now. But I had him at the start of the season, and I absolutely hated having him. So I feel like I would never make that transfer if obviously Gabriel was fine. I would never bring in a Villa defender if all my defenders were fine. So I don't know, I'd have to have a look at like a 4.5 mil defender that kind of jumps out at me. But if I didn't have a Crystal Palace defender, that's probably where I'd be going, because they've got Wolves away this week, Man United at home, then they've got Burnley away. So some pretty nice-ish fixtures coming up. Any kind of Bournemouth or Crystal Palace defenders I think are perfect for a Gabriel replacement, as well as obviously your likes of Liverpool. Like Van Dijk is obviously the easy transfer. If you don't have him, then you go Gabriel to Van Dijk. He's 0.6 cheaper, and he's going to obviously have a decent run of fixtures coming up. But if you already have Van Dijk, then maybe a maybe a Crystal Palace or a Bournemouth player. I have all of those 3 players. You know, I already have Crystal Palace, I already have Bournemouth, and I already have Virgil van Dijk. So it's, you know, I don't know which way to go for Gabriel in terms of my personal team. But it'd probably be like a 4.5 mil defender, something like that. Could even double up on Bournemouth, but I just don't think it's worth it right now. But obviously, let's just say I bring in a 4.5 mil defender. Let's just say it is Cash, who's 4.6, but just for the point of this video, let's just say I bring him in. I've got 3 mil to kind of work around with. And I don't think that's enough to kind of sort both of these midfielders out, because obviously I'd be taking a hit and stuff. I could take a hit this week and bring in Mbeumo, and then I could also bring in Szoboszlai as well, and then that would leave me with the kind of 3-4-3 formation, or the 4-3-3 formation. I'd play Cash, Senesi, Lacroix, and Virgil van Dijk. I'd play Saka, Mbeumo, and Szoboszlai, and then I'd play Welbeck, Mateta, and Haaland. So a 4-3-3 is going to take a -4 though, which isn't ideal. Or I could just not take the -4. I could just not bring in Szoboszlai and then just play Dewsbury Hall and then just play a 4-3-3. But Dewsbury Hall, Man United away, not ideal. And I think I'd always go Mbeumo over Bruno Fernandes as well. So yeah, it's one of those really. I think I could also just get rid of Semenyo, but again, I don't really want Kudus in my team. But then again, Kudus has a decent-ish fixture the week after Arsenal. So maybe again, we don't even know if he's back. If he's fine, then maybe I keep him. And if Semenyo's out for a while, then I'll get rid of Semenyo for Mbeumo, and that'll give me even more money. But I do really like Semenyo in my team, though, because the fixtures are so good. But I'd have 2.2 mil in the bank if Semenyo's out. So yeah, I kind of need to wait for press conferences, obviously. But I think if you're getting rid of Semenyo, I think it's a Man United midfielder. I generally think there's not really a better kind of team to attack right now with the fixtures that they've got, you know, apart from obviously Liverpool. But are there really any Liverpool midfielders you want to bring in? Szoboszlai, good option on 4 yellow cards though. Everybody else's minutes are just very, very up in the air apart from Salah, but he's all the way up at 14.2 mil, so you're going to be able to afford him. Rice is obviously a really good option, but I assume a lot of people have a triple Arsenal already. But I guess if you're getting rid of Gabriel, then you could also bring in Rice and just have like 2 midfielders. But that's kind of a little bit more food for thought as well, because then you'll have to get rid of either Rice or somebody like that to then bring Gabriel back in. So you're kind of putting yourself into another 2 transfer situation. But yeah, I think Man United, probably the best kind of replacements for Semenyo. And I think for Gabriel, Virgil van Dijk's obviously number 1. But then you're looking at Crystal Palace and Bournemouth defenders as well. But unfortunately, because I have all three, I'm having to make a pretty meh transfer and bring in like I say, it might be cash, it could be somebody else. But yeah, if GABRIEL and Semenyo are both out for a while, like if they're only out for like 1 week or something, like 1 or 2 weeks, then maybe I hold, because I potentially could just free hit in 13 when a lot of players have some really, really nice fixtures. So that's just also something else that I'm kind of looking at. There's also Riley as well that I really do like the look of from Man City, but also Pep Roulette. You never know how that's gonna go, because he has started a lot of games at the moment, but he's just not really a player that I don't know if I can trust. And obviously this week they've got Newcastle away, and then after that the fixtures are really, really good. So I don't know. That's another player that I could potentially bring in, and I would still have enough to obviously do that. I think even if I bring in, yeah, might even still have enough if I take out Kudus from Brumo as well. But yeah, O'Reilly's another player that I'm kind of looking at. His minutes have been okay-ish. You know, obviously played 90, but then only 29 against Villa. 86, 90, 82, 86, 90. Like, every now and again, he just doesn't start for whatever reason, even though he's in a solid position. Obviously, he's just played for England as well, so he's in very good form at the moment. So he's a player that I do really like the look of. It's just with Pep Roulette, I'd hate for him to be benched in a fixture that I really need him for, especially whilst I'm still kind of getting rid of all this deadwood in my team, like these injuries and suspensions and stuff. But that's what it's currently looking like. So yeah, they're the kind of replacements I'd be thinking about for GABRIEL and Semenyo. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like down below, leave a comment, subscribe if you're brand new. What are the players that you're going to be bringing in this week? Subscribe if you're brand new, and until next time, peace.